Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It's about 10:50 a.m. It's March 14th at that time again for daily Bitcoin and cryptocurrency news. Funny story, not that you guys really care, but I filmed the entire thing, but I noticed something wrong with my microphone. So I'm starting over. So I just wasted about 25 minutes worth of video. So that's why this is a little bit later, but I think overall this is going to be better because you guys will actually be able to hear me rather than my last video. All right, so the market definitely moved down today, right? We're seeing drops anywhere from, some are actually holding pretty well, right? Drops from 1 to 5%. Some have dropped more, but overall, a lot of big caps and even a lot of mid and small caps are holding pretty well. You see, a lot of them are just 1 to 2%. They're not that big. Some are bigger, like KuCoin, Share, right, for example, but some of these are holding pretty well. The market definitely is going down. Today is a futures expiration day. There's still some theories of whether or not futures have any effect on the market. I think it does, maybe in a slight way, but I think it does. And a lot of people kind of stopped talking about futures, but I just want to bring that up. All right, let's get to the news really quick. All right, so this is the biggest news of the day, and this is not good. Okay, we know that Facebook banned ICO crypto ads, right? Basically, too many people are complaining about seeing ICO ads nonstop, and plus, Facebook was concerned that there are a lot of bad ICOs out there, right? So, as you guys know, there's a lot of good ICOs, and now there's a lot of bad ICOs, right? ICO is kind of the Wild West. Back maybe even 6 months ago, there was a lot more legitimate ICOs, and now it's just like everyone and their mother is trying to come with ICO to see how they could get more money, right? And then you hear a lot more reports now about the SEC cracking down on ICOs and this and that, right? So Facebook did it first, and then now Google is doing it second. Yeah, but Google, I think, in my opinion, banning ICOs and crypto ads is far worse than Facebook doing it, right? Those of you guys know, Google is the largest search engine by far, controls about 70 to 80% of all searches in the world, and YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, right? So both owned by Google. So that's a lot of ads that's being taken away, right? And I think most people would agree that they actually welcome this because they don't want to see endless ICO ads out there, right? Especially in the US where you can't really even participate in most of these ICOs. But overall, it hurts, the legitimate companies, especially ones that really want to advertise their services. For example, if Coinbase or Gemini or even now Circle, they want to advertise and get the word out about what their platform can do, they can't anymore, right? So I think this does hurt cryptocurrency in a way. I think this might have also contributed to a little bit to what's going on today. But overall, yeah, this is not good for cryptocurrencies in general, and it's unknown what Google and Facebook is looking for before they reinstate those ads, or if ever, right? So we'll have to see. Like right now, there's no guidance on it. Yeah. So, and then also I want to point out, what is it? No, I think that's it. All right. So, yeah. So we'll have to see what they come up with. Oh, I know. I remember what I want to say. A lot of these ad networks that's specific for cryptos, a lot of people that know they pretty much just utilize Google on the back end, right? So a lot of these crypto only ad networks, they're gonna be done. Like there's really not much they could do other than to move to Bing, pretty much, right? Yeah, so I just want to point that out real quick. So this is definitely not good news for today. Here's a news story about Coinbase, right? A lot of people complain about how Coinbase takes forever to do deposits and stuff like that. Well, they're aware of it, so they're getting some kind of e-money license in the UK, which will help them speed up fiat deposits and withdrawals. So this is always a good thing. Coinbase, despite all the problems people are having and complaints, I think they're getting to it. It's just very slowly, right? Circle, most of you guys know, Circle bought Polionex recently. and they're going all out, right? They received a New York big license, which means that they're allowed to trade cryptos in New York, and now they're saying they're going to open up their Circle Invest app to citizens in 46 states. That's a lot of states right away. Um, so Minnesota, Wyoming, and Hawaii are excluded right now, and New York will gain access very soon to this bid license. So they're going all out, right? So I don't know. I haven't used this app before. I'm gonna have to try to download it. I don't know if they just took PolioNext's app and just kind of rebranded it to Circle Invest. So I have to take a look, but that's pretty ambitious, pretty fast, right? You guys know that Robinhood came out and it's taken them a while. They opened up only 5 states. For them to open up 46 states, it's still gonna be a while down. So Circle is definitely pushing the frontier. You guys know that Circle is backed by Goldman Sachs, which is very interesting. And they're kind of one of those, Silicon Valley companies that's very ambitious, got a lot of funding. So we'll see if they can make a true Coinbase competitor with Circle Invest, right? Another one is Square. You guys know Square Cash App also allows buying and selling Bitcoin, and they're also seeking that bit license from New York so that they can operate in New York City, which is the largest city in the United States. It is definitely a city that I should say, yeah, New York City is the largest city in the state, but New York is definitely a large state that you want to be in. So good for them if they get it. Last thing is, yeah, this is funny. Florida State employee arrested for mining cryptos at work. You guys heard, what was more ridiculous maybe a month ago when these nuclear scientists in Russia was caught mining cryptos. Here is it's a Florida IT manager that bought 24 GPUs and was mining, and the utility bill went up 40% between October and January. So I guess he thought that no one would ever find out, but they did. All right, so that's it for news for today. There's not that much news today. Overall market, as you guys know, has gone down a little bit, but it is holding. It seems like it's holding right around this 8,700 mark at 353 billion, right? A lot of people know that yesterday there was a lot of big jumpers, right? Binance Coin went up huge because of their announcement. You had Encash go up huge, Substrata went up huge, Populous went up huge. A lot of these players went up huge yesterday, and today they've held pretty well because you'll see that, and VeChain went up decently and they're still in the green. What is it? Binance Coin is only down 5%, but yesterday they jumped up like 20 something percent, so they're holding well. Steam is in the green. Populous didn't hold very well. I mean, so some of these have held some gains from yesterday. But obviously, overall, the market is still going down. BTC dominance is still at 42%. A lot of people started complaining, like, what, that maybe I'm too optimistic and I'm not being realistic, telling you guys to hold, But like I said yesterday, right, I don't believe we're in a bear market. And what I mean by that is, I deem bear market is like a long stretch of time where it's nothing but down pressure. Okay, and the best example of this is between 2013 all the way to 2016, or I should say 2014 to 2017. Let's say this is right after the first Bitcoin climb to 1,200. And then it came back down to like 200, right? And for years, Bitcoin kind of struggled for around 200, 300 level. It went up to like 400 and it came back down. And it just kind of went nowhere for years. Okay, all the way until 2017, which I mentioned yesterday, which Bitcoin was at 1,000. And then it made this historic climb to 20,000 and it came back down, right? So that took years upon years, right? So that's like 3 years in the making. That's what I consider a bear market, when you have years, like a long stretch of time, right? We're not just talking about like a month or 2 months, okay? 2 months is not long. I'm talking about a year. Like, so those people, if everyone's thinking that, all of 2018 was going to be nothing but downs, right? Nothing but slow downs. and the whole market is going to keep going down, that would be considered a bear market, which is, I don't think that's going to happen, because I don't think if we were truly going that direction, I think we would be much, much lower than where we are now already. So that's why I don't think it's a bear market. I do think the market is going to climb higher, right? It just, the time might take longer than what people think, right? So right now, a lot of people are trying to do swing trades and stuff like that, right? A lot of these TA guys, especially on Twitter and stuff, are getting very popular because people are sick of holding, right? And there is a market for that. Those people that know what they're doing, they can utilize that, right? But I want to show you guys something, because there are things that you can't possibly predict, right? With TAs, is more like, you know, a generality, right? Like if nothing is happening in the background, there's no manipulation, there's no external factor news, then TA, I could say, will guide you along the way, right? But when there's something that happens, and you know, in cryptocurrency, a lot of things happen, right? A bad news happen with a coin, or some kind of thing happens in the background where, say, like Google bans ads, right? Or a futures expiration, or you got like a Mt. Gox trustee that's selling Bitcoins left and right that no one knows about, right? So those kind of things TA just can't predict, and so forth, right? But I do want to show you guys something, and I'm not a TA guy. I've said that many times, right? And I don't pretend like I'm not gonna lecture you guys on it, but I do want to show something that's interesting, which is volume. This is a BTC graph and a chart, and this is where it shows the historic climb, right? And look at the volume there. The volume was insane. A lot of sells, a lot of buys, right? A lot of reds and greens, but it's interesting to see that the sells were higher. But you'll see that every time there's a huge spike in sell, obviously the price dropped, right? And I didn't coordinate those with the Mt. Gox trustee sells, because it might be like exactly the days that he sold and everyone else joined in on it. But it's interesting to see that after, like I would say around this point, which is the 20th, second half of December, is when Bitcoin volume just dropped to like historic lows, right? Not historic lows, but really low. You could see that it's like probably a third or a fourth the volume or where it was before. Look at this, right? So all the way down from here to here, right? Look at the volume of Bitcoin, right? Besides here, a little blip and a little blip here, right? And they appear little because you're compared to this, right? Obviously, if you zoom in, they're a little bit bigger, but say right here, like right here, right? Um, but look at this. Look at the volume now. Ever since right about here, March 3rd or 4th, okay, is when volume starts spiking dramatically. Look at our volume here. It's at least double as much as where we were in February, right? And basically, we haven't seen these kind of volumes since second half of December. So it's quite interesting what's happening here. And you see this huge red right here, right? Something happened on the 6th that caused a massive sell-off. You see that huge red candlestick, right? And then it goes down, and it's kind of hovering here, right? So you see the bottoms here. Where do we hit? 8,500, and then the bottom was 8,600. So today we're at 8,600. So it kind of like, all right. So I'm just gonna do this, you know, like you'll kind of see this, right? So we'll see if that holds true, but I just want to point out the volume definitely increased dramatically, okay? And I don't know what that means. I really don't, right? I don't know if that means that there's a lot more whales trying to manipulate the market, like whales that are trying to sell off, but also whales come in that's buying, and they're kind of counteracting each other. Or there's a lot more bot trading, or something else is going on, or people are just trying to get into it more, right? People are thinking this is the time to get back in. I don't know, but the volume is definitely interesting. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys, right? Overall, and then also the RSI chart right here, which the lower you go, that means the more oversold it is. So like right now, like right at this point, the when it was at 8,500, you know, the RSI was at like 19, right? So that's really low. Anything below 20 is like extreme oversold situation. So like where we are now, around 8,700, we're around the 30s. That is low, obviously, compared to if you were up here. But that means, it can go lower, but it is pretty oversold. All right, so we'll see, right? So obviously, but this doesn't explain anything where if there's obviously something happens today externally or behind closed doors, this could go down or up, right? You really can't control it. So this is why I don't really rely on TA that much, okay? I believe in the fundamentals. I believe in long-term holds, right? But obviously, those of you guys that are really bored or really want some near-term guidance, right? That's where TA could come in and help, right? So I'm not going to discredit that, and it can, right? All right, so that's pretty much for today. The market is going up slightly. Again, I apologize, this is a little bit later in the day because I had to re-record this whole thing, and plus my sinuses, my cold is still just like killing me right now, right? Other than that, that's it. Please, hit the likes and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye-bye. I just want to bring that up. All right, let's get to the news really quick. All right, so this is the biggest news of the day, and this is not good. Okay, we know that Facebook banned ICO crypto ads, right? Basically, too many people are complaining about seeing ICO ads nonstop, and plus, Facebook was concerned that there are a lot of bad ICOs out there, right? So, as you guys know, there's a lot of good ICOs, and now there's a lot of bad ICOs, right? ICO is kind of the Wild West. Back maybe even 6 months ago, there was a lot more legitimate ICOs, and now it's just like everyone and their mother is trying to come with ICO to see how they could get more money, right? And then you hear a lot more reports now about the SEC cracking down on ICOs and this and that, right? So Facebook did it first, and then now Google is doing it second. Yeah, but Google, I think, in my opinion, banning ICOs and crypto ads is far worse than Facebook doing it, right? Those of you guys know, Google is the largest search engine by far, controls about 70 to 80% of all searches in the world, and YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, right? So both owned by Google. So that's a lot of ads that's being taken away, right? And I think most people would agree that they actually welcome this because they don't want to see endless ICO ads out there, right? Especially in the US where you can't really even participate in most of these ICOs. But overall, it hurts, the legitimate companies, especially ones that really want to advertise their services. For example, if Coinbase or Gemini or even now Circle, they want to advertise and get the word out about what their platform can do, they can't anymore, right? So I think this does hurt cryptocurrency in a way. I think this might have also contributed a little bit to what's going on today. But overall, yeah, this is not good for cryptocurrencies in general, and it's unknown what Google and Facebook is looking for before they reinstate those ads, or if ever, right? So we'll have to see. Like right now, there's no guidance on it. Yeah. So, and then also I want to point out, what is it? No, I think that's it. All right. So, yeah. So we'll have to see what they come up with. Oh, I know. I remember what I want to say. A lot of these ad networks that's specific for cryptos, a lot of people didn't know they pretty much just utilize Google on the back end, right? So a lot of these crypto only ad networks, they're gonna be done. Like there's really not much they could do other than to move. But overall, a lot of big caps and even a lot of mid and small caps are holding pretty well. You see, a lot of them are just 1 to 2%. They're not that big. Some are bigger, like KuCoin, sure, right, for example. But some of these are holding pretty well. The market definitely is going down. Today is a futures expiration day. There's still some theories of whether or not futures have any effect on the market. I think it does, maybe in a slight way, but I think it does. And a lot of people kind of stopped talking about futures. But I just want to bring that up. All right, let's get to the news really quick. All right, so this is the biggest news of the day, and this is not good. Okay, we know that Facebook banned ICO crypto ads, right? Basically, too many people are complaining about seeing ICO ads nonstop, and plus, Facebook was concerned that there are a lot of bad ICOs out there, right? So, as you guys know, there's a lot of good ICOs, and now there's a lot of bad ICOs, right? ICO is kind of the Wild West. Back maybe even 6 months ago, there was a lot more legitimate ICOs, and now it's just like everyone and their mother is trying to come with ICO to see how they could get more money, right? And you hear a lot more reports now about the SEC cracking down on ICOs and this and that, right? So Facebook did it first, and then now Google is doing it second. Yeah, but Google, I think, in my opinion, banning ICOs and crypto ads is far worse than Facebook doing it, right? Those of you guys know, Google is the largest search engine by far, controls about 70 to 80% of all searches in the world, and YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, right? So both owned by Google. So that's a lot of ads that's being taken away, right? And I think most people would agree that they actually welcome this because they don't want to see endless ICO ads out there, right? Especially in the US where you can't really even participate in most of these ICOs. But overall, it hurts, the legitimate companies, especially ones that really want to advertise their services. For example, if Coinbase or Gemini or even now Circle, they want to advertise and get the word out about what their platform can do, they can't anymore, right? So I think this does hurt cryptocurrency in a way. I think this might have also contributed to a little bit to what's going on today. But overall, yeah, this is not good for cryptocurrencies in general, and it's unknown what Google and Facebook is looking for before they reinstate those ads, or if ever, right? So we'll have to see, so that's why I don't think it's a bear market. I do think the market is going to climb higher, right? The time might take longer than what people think, right? So right now, a lot of people are trying to do swing trades and stuff like that, right? A lot of these TA guys, especially on Twitter and stuff, are getting very popular because people are sick of holding, right? And there is a market for that. Those people that know what they're doing, they can utilize that, right? But I want to show you guys something because there are things that you can't possibly predict, right? With TAs, it's more like, a generality, right? Like if nothing is happening in the background, there's no manipulation, there's no external factor news, then TA, I could say, will guide you along the way, right? But when there's something that happens, and in cryptocurrency, a lot of things happen, right? A bad news happened with a coin, or some kind of thing happens in the background where, say, like Google bans ads, right? Or a futures declaration, or you got like a Mt. Gox trustee that's selling Bitcoins left and right that no one knows about, right? So those kind of things TA just can't predict and so forth, right? But I do want to show you guys something, and I'm not a TA guy. I've said that many times, right? And I don't pretend like I'm not going to lecture you guys on it, but I do want to show something that's interesting, which is volume. This is a BTC graph and a chart, and this is where it shows the historic climb, right? And look at the volume there. The volume was insane. A lot of sells, a lot of buys, right? A lot of reds and greens, but it's interesting to see that the sells were higher. But you'll see that every time there's a huge spike in sell, obviously the price dropped, right? And I didn't coordinate those with the Mt. Gox trustee sells because it might be like exactly the days that he sold and everyone else joined in on it. But it's interesting to see that after, like I would say around this point, which is the 20th, second half of December, is when Bitcoin volume just dropped to like historic lows, right? Not historic lows, but really low. You could see that it's like probably a third or a fourth the volume or where it was before. Look at this, right? So all the way down from here to here, right? Look at the volume of Bitcoin, right? Besides here, a little blip and a little blip here, right? And they appear little because because you're compared to this, right? Obviously, if you zoom in, they're a little bit bigger, but say right here, like right here, right? Um, but look at this. Look at the volume now. Ever since right about here, March 3rd or 4th, okay, is when volume starts spiking dramatically. Look at our volume here. It's at went up 40% between October and January. So I guess he thought that no one would ever find out, but they did. All right, so that's it for news for today. There's not that much news today. Overall market, as you guys know, has gone down a little bit, but it is holding. It seems like it's holding right around this 8,700 mark at 353 billion, right? A lot of people know that yesterday there was a lot of big jumpers, right? Binance Coin went up huge because of their announcement. You had Ncash go up huge, Substrata went up huge, Populous went up huge. A lot of these players went up huge yesterday, and today they've held pretty well because you'll see that, oh, and VeChain went up decently, and they're still in the green. What is it? Binance Coin is only down 5%, but yesterday they jumped up like 20-something%, so they're holding well. Steam is in the green. Populous didn't hold very well. I mean, so some of these have held some gains from yesterday. But obviously, overall, the market is still going down. BTC dominance is still at 42%. You know, a lot of people started complaining, like, you know what, that maybe I'm too optimistic and I'm not being realistic, you know, telling you guys to hold, you know. But like I said yesterday, right, I don't believe we're in a bear market. And what I mean by that is, you know, I deem bear market is like a long stretch of time where it's nothing but down pressure, okay? And the best example of this is between 2013 all the way to 2016, or I should say 2014 to 2017, let's say. This is right after the first Bitcoin climb to 1,200, and then it came back down to like 200, right? And for years, Bitcoin kind of struggled for around 200, 300 level. It went up to like 400, and it came back down, and it just kind of went nowhere for years. Okay, all the way until 2017, which I mentioned yesterday, which Bitcoin was at 1,000, and then it made this historic climb to 20,000, and it came back down, right? So that took years upon years, right? So that's like 3 years in the making. That's what I consider a bear market, when you have years, like a long stretch of time, right? We're not just talking about like a month or 2 months, okay? 2 months is not long. I'm talking about a year. Like, so if those people, if everyone's thinking that, you know, all of 2018 was going to be nothing but downs, right? Nothing but slow downs, and the whole market is going to keep going down, that would be considered a bear market, which is, I don't think that's going to happen, because I don't think, if we were truly going that direction, I think we would be much, much lower than where we are now already.